All right, chapter 8. So, what we are looking at today is basically an introduction to adding and subtracting polynomials. So, we need to discuss some vocabulary terms before we get into this so that when I'm using these words, you know what I mean. So, if you look at the slide here, I've got monomial, which we covered in the last chapter. Monomial is basically a combination of variables, numbers, multiplying by each other. The only thing you cannot have in a monomial is you cannot have a negative exponent on anything. All right, so monomials will not have negative exponents, but otherwise it can be any kind of multiplication of terms together. A binomial is basically any two monomials that are being added to each other. Okay? And a trinomial is three monomials that are being added or subtracted to each other. Same thing as the binomial. And then when they talk about a polynomial means it can mean any number of them. So a polynomial can mean a monomial. It can mean, two monomials being added or subtracted, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. And then when they talk about the degree of a polynomial, basically what that means is the highest exponent that is present in that polynomial is what the degree of it is. All right, and we'll look at a couple examples here. You'll try a few, and most of this will hopefully make some sense to you. Okay, so example 1, it says determine whether each expression is a polynomial. If it is, find the degree and determine whether it is a monomial, binomial, or a trinomial. All right, so the first one, we've got 4y minus 5. So basically, you look at each of your terms and you see if they're monomials. All right, and if I look at this, well, I know that that is definitely a monomial. All right, and then negative 5 is also a monomial. So if there's two of them together and they're both monomials, is it? Yes, it is. The degree, well, the highest exponent we have on our variables would be, the only variable we have is y, and that would be 1. So that would be degree of 1. And monomial, binomial, trinomial, there are two terms. So that would be binomial. So that would be binomial, all right? Negative 6.5, there's only one term, but it's still a monomial. It does not have to have a variable. So yes, the degree of this would also basically be 1. Although in the book it says that it is 0. So they must mean the degree must be on a variable. So the degree would be 0. Monomial, binomial, trinomial, this is a monomial. Next one. This is a deal breaker right here because we have a negative exponent. And because we have a negative exponent, this is not a monomial. And because this is not a monomial, this whole thing is not a polynomial because it has to be an adding or subtracting of all things that each of them is a monomial. So this would be no degree, doesn't matter, and here it doesn't matter. All right, this last one, each of these terms is a monomial. All right, so it is, the highest degree would be here, so third power. And then there's 4 terms here, but you notice that we can combine this guy and that guy to get 6x cubed plus 5x plus 3, which then would be a trinomial. All right, so hopefully you're getting the feel for this. Take a look at this problem, look at these, pause the video, see if you can figure out what they are, and then come back. Okay, first one, yes, it is a monomial because it is x. It is x to the 1 power, so its degree is 1, and it is one term only, so it would be a monomial. Remember, mono is 1, right? Bi is 2, and tri is 3. this one right here, negative 3y squared minus 2y plus 4y minus 1. Those are all monomials being added and subtracted to each other, so it is a polynomial. The degree, the highest, is 2. And then you can combine your negative 2y and your 4y to be positive 2y. So you have a trinomial. All right, this one right here, even though the variables are different, they are just being multiplied. There are no negative exponents. So yes, this is a polynomial. And the highest degree of any of those variables is 1. So this would be a binomial because there are 2 monomial terms there. All right, and then this last one, all you got to basically look at is we've got some weird things going on with the exponents here. You've got a negative exponent. That's a deal breaker, and it's just like the other one. If one of them is not a monomial, the whole thing is not a polynomial. And so note, it is not a polynomial. Therefore, we don't have to worry about degree or monomial, binomial, or trinomial. Hopefully this is making some sense. And let's move on to example 2. I'm going to stop the video and you'll have to pick up at the next one.